Edward died in 1904, but his body was stolen and went missing, basically, from our family's point of view for over 80 years. We eventually realized his body was in Montreal, and so then my family members here started to fight to have his body repatriated. So that actually happened. It took a number of decades, but it was repatriated in 1990. So we actually didn't have the funeral for him until 1990, and I was at his funeral when I was a kid. But it was just like a kid memory. I didn't really think much about it until I grew up and I started to hear other people's stories. My dad, when he was a kid, they used to go to his grandparents' farms, and so Georgiana was his grandma, so that was Edward's sister, and she had some of his clothes for a while. So when they were kids, him and the other, like his siblings would try and like fit as many kids as they could in the giant coat, like stuff like that, right? So it's kind of like these like nice, warm engagements, I guess, with Edward. And I think it's also really fitting too, because, from what I understand of him, he was a very like kind of soft-spoken individual who really loved kids. To this day, people are still making like books, news pieces, all kinds of things like that. But I don't think anybody from our family has ever done that. So again, it's just like, it's so different than how we talk about him. And I really wanted to share his story in a very like intimate way that also claims him as our family member, that we still talk about and care about to this day.